Now repeat after me, class. Wards don't do damage.
Wards don't do damage.
Something funny, Yasuo? Should I remind you what happened last time you disrespected my authority?
Kill me. You can try.
Okay, now for our math lesson today we are going to talk about the power of percentages because there are items in League that increase stats by a percentage. Everyone knows about Rabbi's death cap and its passive, magical OP nust, but there is a new little rift widget called Vigilant Wardstone that packs a percentage of its own. And can anyone tell me what you get when you add two percentages of a large number to that large number? That's right, 200 years, which means you'll be packing that fat AP nest. And today I would like to show you a build so reasonably priced you can complete it fully in under 25 minutes every game, which gives you enough power as a support to slap the bad boys silly. Oh, it's Principal Niece. Can you please tell these kids that building straight damage is always best?
No, I'm not doing that.
Gotta go by. Listen up kids, it's only a matter of time before Principal Niece fires me, so I need to secure some other income by running ads in class for the gaming phone I used to play Wild Rift on, but I feel bad, so I took pictures of my fake wife's hands and sprinkled them into the sponsor as a bonus treat for watching. Enter Futuristic City to set the theme of introducing the next generation of gaming phones, aka Floating Beauty, the sleek sign of unadulterated, unapologetic raw power in the hands of its beholder, with lenses out of the wazoo, looking dope in this white powder coated Halo 2 Cairo station. Bam, cue the sick lens transition into some hyperspeed aircraft symbolizing the raw power that the Qualcomm 5G Snapdragon platform provides, enough to launch a proverbial rocket to symbolize how clean projectiles look on its 144Hz displays. Not to mention this thing charges at speeds that make the Energizer Bunny look tired, all packed into the hyper-thin Tencent collaborated design that looks oh so sexy, floating through space in all kinds of scenic backdrops. Get your red magic phone today. Bam, sponsored Rav reveal. Suck it all in, folks. Now for all of you loyal ones who have the official pic or it didn't happen proof that my wife is real, I look forward to reading the comments, conspiracy theories about how I bought a nice ring and paid some random chick to put it on for a photo, all to make you believe she's not fake. But first let's get back to how Vigilant Wardstone is the ticket to victory royales. Okay, so game 1 I lock in the floating bathtub toaster, and sure enough, since this is League, my ADC has to announce his disapproval of my pick, so I suggest we change that. But in reality I would like to change the brain of anyone who thinks doing alphabet acrobatics to avoid getting banned from being a bigoted racist. So to address this publicly, no one thinks you are cool. That said, you have to fake friendships early to earn LP before you report the racist Ricky, so I gave him an olive branch early, and then while he was busy suggesting some no gravity gob job, I wasn't gonna let the first wave just passively die, so I bolted the babies, and then when Project Scare Yo Crows came down I nabbed that homicide as well. To which racist Ricky feels the need to flame me, so my opinion of him has now officially moved to the fuck this guy category. But if you watch a lot of Spike TV, you've probably seen the episode of 1000 Ways to Die starring this Pike, who was hard at work to provide the content for that series, which ended up making game 1 easier than taking candy from a diabetic man who no longer wants candy. And while I wanted a longer game, the early FFs seemed to be a theme while rocking the poking power plant in the bot lane, but eventually I got the perfect piss fest of a game to show the power of percentages. And this one featured the 4 whore as my designated right clicker, and I was very clear before the game that I drank too much gamer girl bathwater, and if I had to step out to exhale through my ass he should count to at least 5 to make sure the smell faded before he walked too far up. But some things are just unlearnable, so he got root whacked Kaisa stacked before a flurry of flashes ended in her flying back to fountain. Then we had the obese oak tree rocking the undicked flea, but a combination of my gin having the greed that precedes the feed and my accuracy being good enough to earn me a duck hunting invitation with Dick Cheney, and things got a bit disorganized before one last dramatic green bean brings the double. That said, I was rocking so much poke you'd think this Willow is my wife and my ween has that morning wood, but the little pistol twister's brain was still loading into the game, so he possessed walked straight into danger, leaving me in a situation where my flight or fight reflex tells me to fight and then quickly cut the scene before you see what Plasma Patty did to my ass right after. And if laughter is actually the best medicine, then I am calling up the CDC and telling them I found the cure to cancer and it's called this Ginzalt. But it's all good as sticks and stones may break our bones, but falling flag pins won't kill us, as we seatbelt the javelin jack off, and I managed to miss a stationary target because my hand lagged and I was multitasking interviewing a bikini model for the role of Rav's entourage obviously, but a 3 count to put a J4 in fountain then ensued before I fork in the outlet at the Barky Butt Muncher as Jennifer contributed by getting shit on. But I think I speak for everyone when I say that we were improving at alarming rates considering Jin launched his ult toward enemies this time as the support made a better door than a window, but that door was wide open, so bye bye birdie to the wing bitch. And then my aimbot script started working, so I launched the power plant quarterback and made it rain toxic edition before taxing farm for dessert because I'm an asshole like that. Then my lane spouse had to go shopping, so I was just playing some tower goalie in the meantime until I saw that deformed dogwood in my domain, so I politely informed him that trespassers will be violated. And then I don't know what Kaisa got stuck in her asshole while watching Bryce Hall lick his lips on TikTok this morning, but it had her on edge and I didn't appreciate the outcome of such hormones. That said, we titty dripped their tier 1 Towie, which opened the game up to a ram, which is where I excel. But everyone knows that attacks on Aurelia are super effective when you're a fire Pokemon, but unfortunately our little counting Charmander got the J4 jockstrap slapped in an underachieving volcano as I purchased nosebleed seats to the team fight and only came in to contribute when I would be credited with the kills. And a minute later, after we slay a drag from the mountain breeder, I decide to do at the zoom out session Jen had going by firing 2 warning shots into battle, but there's a reason people called me Icewater Urethra in college. But it's embarrassing, so let's change the subject to this winged Ellen DeGeneres dying again instead. Anyways, my team was supposedly all naive lost tourists hoping the enemies could direct them toward the nearest nexus, which left me in a situation where I had to deal with this dashing bladed Scarlett Johansson whose patheticness I didn't want rubbing off in my hair. That said, Jarvan be starvin' for a kill, and I am shocked that 4 generations of that dumbass family survived, but I had to back off because there were so many people mid I could stir them with a stick. But no worries, as I was still committed to Sky mailing a message to that J with the bad KDA that read, "Eat my ass." And this was enough to complete my cost-effective power of percentage build in just under 25 minutes, which results in around 700 AP and gives you the confidence to go worm whacking in river when your jungler's dead, because you know their jungler's like a drunk freshman at a frat party, aka easily fucked before Jin has quite the forgasm on that Fio. Then, since I had a lack of both cooldowns and chromosomes, I just hung out like a tick on a deer dick until Lulu shoved a spark plug up my anus, which motivated me to ult for seemingly no reason other than to be a douche and try to wake up a few jungle camps from their nap. Then there's a bit of an ex-boyfriend situation going on with Blue Buff where I no longer need it in my life, but I still don't want anyone else to have it, so Azus Deuce does 70% of Commander Cuck Sucks health, and then a synchronized zoom out transfers the proverbial ex-boyfriend to Jin. So I run straight mid ready to bust a flash on this hoe to spark quite the chain of incompetence, but Lulu looks at her and says, "How do you plan on stunning us when you're a fucking frog?" So she just kind of dies. But I guess Kaisa was watching Bryce Hall vids again because Hyphy Horny Hoppy Into Danger was back, and ignoring the fact that it'd be quite a stretch to say skill before my shots, I eventually deliver enough static shit to remain the only one patting his own head cuz he's a good boy at the end. So we kind of just stormed the base like it was a store with toilet paper in stock in 2020, as Jin's ult acts as nothing more than a disoriented decorative backdrop to Kaisa getting cucked. And thus exhibit 1 of how tacking 2 percentages onto an AP hungry champ ends in showing the power you pack as a support when you print a fake mid lane ID and build Vigilant Wardstone as you become a 5th carry instead of a low elo support stuck cuffing the non-existent balls of your teammates who wouldn't even know what to do with someone man fanny pack fondling their hard stuck sperm purse. But I feel like this video wouldn't be a comprehensive display of high AP play without giving it a go on Gandalf's grandbaby. So in game 2 I was supporting the Sheriff of Tiltover against a floating time twat working around the clock to make her dead as our first encounter ends in a 1-for-1. So I went to the shops, bought 2 books, which was enough to teach me that I could put the singing opera boy in the pride pan and then cuck him with ease. Anyways, long story short, our Caitlyn was about as pleasant as a garlic milkshake to be around early, so a bit of roaming Rav ensued, and full disclosure, I had been mid a couple of times already, but I was just trying to get my ganks too. Echo, as Marty McFly traveled back to a time when he was in range of my ult, so he died, and I guess he wasn't very fond of my presence, which now gave me motive to visit again soon. #content, but I didn't want the pulse fire pissy whipper to feel neglected, so after a mid laner gank that left much to be desired, I opted to masturbate Count and Dracula, then drop a Teletubbies ring to collect my assist Gs. But I always thought mohawks went well with molding, so after my mid laner discovered that he left his brain cells in the car, I came in to make sure this tilted time twister think that he actually had a chance in the ring against a very small and heliumed up Conor McGregor, and then I activated my win fight strategy, which was to point and click ult that bitch, and I think I speak for everyone when I say, I think he mad. But like all little leprechauns that travel the world at a young age to find themselves and simultaneously piss off a mid laner, It was time to come back home to sit in the shrubs and wait for my turn to give this clock the cuck, but of course his ticking back tit said it's not the right time for him to die, which is good because this gives me the perfect opportunity to prove exactly why I felt like being around this Caitlyn was making me stupider, as she legitimately ran back into danger and deemed it optimal to do all 27 verses of the cha-cha slide in Zillion's bomb zone to make it an even trade. That said, the only thing this Victor was inventing or creating, or whatever the shit kind of mythical innovator he is, was a lot of wealth for the other team, so their mid gets first tower, and I swear I can smell the jealousy of this Echo's anus of how much shit was coming out of his mouth, which is funny because this man's positioning was so bad that he found ways to die not once but 2 separate times in the same fight. A fight that his team could have used him in because the 4 whore followed his failing lead, then the clock with the cock got rocked. Then big man on campus, the 2-legged dog with staff, popped a few body Viagras but still died. And then a kitty cat patty whack attempt on my little Leroy ass resulted in her sitting a stun long enough to watch 6 episodes of shitty Seinfeld before we murdered her ass too. And did anyone else notice that the player in each game that talks the most shit is typically the one who you would think fucked Rift Alexa's sister while they were dating, based off of how often you hear her announcing his mistakes?
An enemy has been slain.
Wait, if I remember correctly, I think I made an insane outplay at the end of this clip. Yeah, hashtag mechanics baby. And I'm not exactly sure what kind of heavy drugs this NASA's fed to his GPS, but it had his route more confused than a homeless man on house arrest, so needless to say he got shame-circled and autoed to death by a St. Paddy's Day chode, but this chode was off to prove that sometimes there's not just 1 but 2 pots of gold waiting for you at the end of a rainbow. And then to anyone who says Rav never wards, I politely want to ask you to get fucked, just like this kitten did when she thought I was just a support. Now I know you already saw this clip, but basically I was full build rocking 1 kps of A, and my positioning was off, but goddamn if this didn't put the W in wet ass little leprechaun pour me a stout, because it's raining dead bitches in this house pussy today. I don't know what would. But the Shittersville sheriff was dead again, so I had to kill some time before the next fight, because you need your whole army to deal with one of those chia pet dogs who say wither and then one shot whack you, but never doubt that more CC equals more dead DOGG. That said, I swear this cat had 9 lives in the next fight before taking my gold at the end of the rainbow, joke to a not so fun adaptation, which left me in a situation where you are probably saying Rav's a dead bitch, but don't forget I am a lucky little leprechaun. Cue the obnoxious laughter. So there you have it. 1200 AP on a support, which I know is nothing super special on a champ like Vhagar, but it's worth noting that this build is cheap as shit, so you hit your big APPP power spikes hella early in games, and I guess for the people who actually care about playing this game correctly, it's also worth noting that you can store 3 vision wards inside of the Vigilant Wardstone item too, so I guess that gives it more value if you are into that kind of stuff. But that sums up why if I get auto-filled support I will be rocking a similar build to this to surprise some unsuspecting Rift scrubs of the power of percentages. Rav out. Stuck. You suck. Bad luck. Hard stuck.